Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. It's Monday, the 8th of June, and I'm Curtis Moore. In our headlines, Mikey Holding speaks to key omissions from Windy's team, and in our feature for this evening, we hear from Franklin Daniel, president of the Nevis Masters Cricket Club. We'll take this break, and I'll be right back.
Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome MERS-CoV and severe acute respiratory syndrome SARS-CoV. The 2019 novel coronavirus 2019 nCoV is a new strain that has not been previously identified in humans. Coronaviruses are zoonotic, meaning they are transmitted from animals to humans. Detailed investigations found that SARS-CoV was transmitted from civet cats to humans and MERS-CoV from dromedary camels to humans. Several known coronaviruses are circulating in animals that have not yet infected humans. Common signs of infection include respiratory symptoms, fever, cough, shortness of breath, and breathing difficulties. In more severe cases, infection can cause pneumonia, severe acute respiratory syndrome, kidney failure, and even death. To protect yourself and prevent the spread of the infection, practice regular hand washing, covering mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, thoroughly cooking meat and eggs. Avoid close contact with anyone showing symptoms of respiratory illness such as coughing and sneezing. This message was brought to you by the Nevis Health Promotion Unit.
As a responsible taxpayer, you help to build and maintain sporting facilities for recreational activities throughout the island. Thank you for putting country above self. This message was brought to you by the Inland Revenue Department, Nevis.
Be a responsible citizen.
Well, I'm back, and we start with cricket. Michael Holding, the broadcaster and former West Indies fast bowler, has said the decisions of Darren Bravo, Shimron Hetmyer and Keema Paul to opt out of the tour in England were unfortunate, if understandable, because of concerns over COVID-19 situation in the UK. Earlier this week, West Indies announced a 25-man party to travel for pre-arranged test matches against England next month. CWI had previously given guarantees that players would not be forced to go on the tour if they were not comfortable with the safety provisions being put in place. Johnny Grave, CWI's chief executive, told ESPN Cricket Info that Bravo, Hetmyer and Paul all expressed fears about going to the UK, which could adversely affect their families. Speaking in an interview from his YouTube channel, Holding said that while he would not blame any of the players for making that choice, their talents would be missed as West Indies seek to defend the Wisden Trophy. The West Indies board, before they were even confirming the tour, had told everyone and the entire public that they would not be forcing anyone to go on the tour, Holding said. If any player decided they weren't absolutely sure about going on tour, they weren't confident of proceedings, they could opt out. And these three guys have opted out. I think it's unfortunate as far as West Indies cricket is concerned. I'm not going to tell anybody that they should be going to England because COVID-19 is around. Someone may get sick or even worse, but at the same time, I think it's unfortunate for the West Indies team because these guys have quite a bit of talent and they'll be truly missed. We'll take this break and I'll be back with our feature for this evening.
My name is Dustin. I've been experiencing pain in my lower back, and last month I started fitness here. I felt more energy throughout the day, and my back has been improving rapidly. I think fitness is great. Fit is it.
As a fisherman, I use the marine resource wisely so I can conserve our biodiversity. So I can fish for life. It's all about balance.
I preserve biodiversity by the way that I farm. It takes care of my family. It's all about balance.
I have enjoyed these seeds all my life. I do my best to conserve our biodiversity because I want my children and my grandchildren to enjoy them as much as I do. It's all about balance.
I'm a park ranger, and my job is to properly manage our protected areas and conserve our biodiversity. It's all about balance.
Youth, let's play a part in conserving our biodiversity and maintaining our natural resources. It's all about balance.
For life, for livelihood, for the future of St. Kitts and Nevis, let's all conserve our biodiversity and use our natural resources wisely. It's all about balance.
Well, I'm back, and tonight cricket is in the spotlight. I recently caught up with President of the Nevis Masters Cricket Club, Franklin Daniel. Tonight we feature that interview. Franklin Daniel is the president of the Nevis Masters Cricket Association. Unfortunately, this year, the Masters Cricket Tournament, which was scheduled for St. Kitts, had to be, I almost said postponed, but it was effectively cancelled. And so the Nevis Masters, after having some preparations, had to leave everything, and there was no tournament. First of all, tell us how it was. What was the feeling like when you heard that the tournament was cancelled?
With regards to this year's tournament, after losing championship in Antigua, the guys had fire in their eyes, basically, knowing that the tournament would be in St. Kitts. It's almost like we're home. And so we were pretty much prepared to take on this competition and give it our best shot so that we could return home with this championship. So when it was announced that the island were being affected by the COVID-19, we then started to have mixed feeling because we knew then that this tournament certainly would be cancelled, and later on the president did address it and indeed been cancelled.
How prepared, though, was the Nevis Masters up to that point when you got the bad news? How prepared were you? Were you actually doing preparations, simulation matches, preparing for fundraisers, etc.? What was the stage you were at that point?
Actually, we were at the stage where we were just going to move into practice sessions. Financially, because it's St. Kitts, there wasn't no heavy work in preparing financially. So, but we were pretty much set.
My understanding is that the Nevis Masters, especially the females, have very good imaginations. My understanding is that during the actual time when the tournament was supposed to have been held, they had virtual matches, and Nevis actually won the tournament. Could you kind of explain to the general public what I'm trying to say?
Well, because of the fact that our team, we were pretty much geared up. It's like knowing that the games were cancelled, we were still steamed and prepared to play our games. So when that weekend came along, which was last week, it's like guys were just calling each other and saying, well, they're packed, we're catching the ferry. And with our genuine supporters, they themselves were equally on board. And so actually the tournament went on, and like you said, we won. But it's like, I could recall I was by a place Saturday, and one guy was asking for one of the players, and they asked if they're not in St. Kitts. So in our minds, we were pretty much in gear to play our games. And so we have some supporters, like our lady supporters, they actually organize the games and were pretty much viewed online.
The only good news I saw in the virtual matches is that a certain Curtis Morton actually played, made 15 and got bowled 3 overs for 9 runs. And we won the game. Now, going forward, how is it for the Masters? I mean, right now everything is on lockdown, but what are the plans for next year? And do you have a word whether or not St. Kitts would be the venue again if everything is well for next year?
All being well, the tournament would be in St. Kitts next year. And prior to that, we are hoping to participate in the over 35 games, which is scheduled for St. Kitts here in October. So, providing all goes well, you could see ourselves in gear right there in St. Kitts.
There's also the big hope that the Nevis Cricket Association will get back into full gear within the next month or two. There is some shoo-shoo going around that the Nevis Masters might just register as one of the local second division teams, as it used to be in the past. Do you see that as a real possibility?
There have been some thoughts about that ever since last year. So realizing there was no cricket this year, well, it's something that is on the table. So I guess with some more discussion, we'll be able to figure that one out.
All right, well, thank you so much, Cut, and probably your last words to the Masters family and to the general public at large.
Well, even though there was no tournament this year, I figure that the general public would have realized and noticed that we gave a tangible donation to the Nevis COVID Task Force. And that in itself was, in a way, just to register our presence, or keep our presence with the general public. And beyond this, we are hoping now to group ourselves together to come back into the game sometime later this year, providing all goes well with this COVID-19. So the COVID-19 is what everyone is watching. Providing that goes well for us, we'll be on the line playing some cricket.
That was President of the Nevis Masters Cricket Club, Mr. Franklin Cut Daniel, and we look forward to some activity soon for the Masters. Cut, I'm sure you'd agree with me that Masters are not the youngest persons in the world, and if there's inactivity for too long, they get rusty. You agree?
Yeah, that is so. But at the same time, it's the only people playing cricket here in Nevis. And though you said, if we are not playing, we could find ourselves, what I would say, freeze up. But I think the guys are pretty much loose enough, and from time to time, they keep themselves active.
Thank you very much, Cut. And that's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.